Hello everyone, happy Friday. You made it through another week. Congratulations. Maybe it was a challenging week, or maybe you didn't complete everything you wanted to get done, but give yourself a little grace. Know that it is okay. And we're going to drop in and try to bring some presents today. So if you've practiced with me, you know that I am Caitlin. If you haven't, hello, my name is Caitlin. It's nice to meet you. So we're going to start today on our backs. When you get there, we're going to keep knees up to the sky, soles of the feet on the ground. This is where we're going to start our meditation piece of practice. So we start to really drop in. If you want to bring a pillow underneath the head, that's great. If holding your legs or keeping your legs in this position is uncomfortable, you can widen the stance a little bit and drop the knees together, resting knee against knee. Hands can be out at the sides, or maybe we bring right hand to the belly, left hand to the heart. We scoop the tailbone towards the ceiling slightly, bringing the low back really flush with the mat, and we start to tap into the breath. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhaling, belly grows nice and heavy, belly button back towards the spine. With each exhale, allow yourself to clear the clutter a little bit more, letting go of anything you brought with you onto the mat today. We're going to stay nice and low today, taking a gentle practice. Bringing back the connection between our mind's intelligence and the body intelligence. So while we're here in our meditation, I would invite you to start bringing an awareness to the body. How are you feeling? What areas are tight or tense? Maybe you're a little anxious and the heart is beating fast today. Maybe you slept weird and your shoulder is tight, maybe sore. I would invite you to take that one step further and notice how you speak to yourself when you bring an awareness to the body. Are your thoughts moving to a place of shame or blame? Of, I'm tight because I didn't do my stretching this week, or I should have drank enough water. It's no wonder I feel this way. And can you change that conversation to invite a little more grace, some loving kindness, forgiveness, and observation of the full experience. Let's stay for 3 more breath cycles, really tapping in, making the exhales longer than the inhales. After your next exhale, we'll release the knees from each other if they were resting against each other. We'll take our feet wider than our yoga mat, but parallel to the long edge of the mat. So toes are pointing towards the front of the mat, knees are up towards the sky. You can keep your hands on the belly and heart, or we bring them wide next to us. Chest is open, so we snuggle the shoulder blades right underneath the heart space. We stay here for the inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to drop both knees over to the left. So we let the left knee work with gravity, coming to the space where our body says to stop. And that right knee, we're really trying to find that connection to the earth, exaggerating this stretch in the IT band, the front of the hip, all the way up to the side body. Really sending that breath to the right leg, allowing that release. We stay for the inhale, and on the exhale, we draw belly button back to spine, moving from our center, protecting our back as we drop the knees over to the right. Really finding that connection in the left leg to the earth. And that doesn't mean that you make contact with the earth, just that you are sending it towards that area. Stay for the inhale, and exhale, we draw back through center. Let's take a shorter route on the others, on both sides again. So again, knees come over to the left. Let's stay for just 2 breath cycles, full inhale, full exhale. And we draw back through center, over to the right. Exhale, draws us back through center, and we heel toe the feet back in line with the hips. Knees are in line with the hips. Left foot is going to stay on the ground. We bend and lift the right leg. Left arm can stay out beside you as we take the right arm over the shin, over the ankle, and clasp the outside of the right foot. If this feels like too much for you, you can always just hang on to the shin or the back of the leg, the hamstring behind the knee. Otherwise, we're going to inhale and exhale, shine that right foot up towards the sky, hamstring opens towards the ceiling. We're pressing down firmly through our left sole, keeping that connection with the left hip to the earth, half stirrup or half happy baby. Belly is heavy, ribs are soft. We stay for one more inhale. And exhale, we lower right foot down to the ground. And we take it to the other side. So left leg lifts. We find our hand connection. Inhale to find stability and our foundation. And exhale, we lift. Left sole, left hamstring up to the sky. Ankle is right above the knee. Stay for one more inhale. And exhale, we release. Left sole is coming down to the earth. Right leg is kicking up high. Let's straighten the right leg, or as much as you can. Foot is flexed, so we're drawing the toes down towards the face, starting to wake up the hamstrings. Let's bring the arms wide into a T, palms face down, feeling the connection with the earth. Belly soft, we're drawing it all the way down. I know the leg is getting tired. Maybe it's starting to get a little shaky. We send our breath to that area. Inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to draw left foot over towards the left side of the mat. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you straighten that left leg and allow the right leg to release to the left side of the mat. Shoulders are pinned down to the ground. We stay active in that right foot. Knee is engaged. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we draw right back up to center. Keep that leg high with control. And gently we lower. Awesome. Left leg lifts on the inhale. We straighten, or as much as our body will allow today. We're pressing into the sole of the right foot for stability. Tailbone scoops up towards the ceiling. We stay for the inhale, and exhale, we start to move the left sole over to the right side of the mat. So that may mean staying here with the leg pretty elevated. Or we straighten that right leg and we drop the left sole all the way over to the right side of the earth. Staying active in the foot. Bring an awareness and observation to how this side feels different than the other. And in what ways do you naturally compensate for that difference? Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we draw that left leg back up high and gently we lower. Soles of the feet come to the earth. We bring the right up to meet the left. Soles kiss together and we open, knees wide, recline bound angle. Let's rest the hands on the tops of the thighs. Elbows tucked tight into the side body. Tailbone can be scooped up towards the ceiling to make the low back really flush with the mat. Or you send the tailbone down to the earth, creating this back bend in the low back. Or if it feels good to oscillate between the two, rocking gently back and forth. You do you. It's your body. If we can learn to listen, our bodies will always tell us exactly what it needs. Belly's heavy, ribs are soft. Bring an awareness to how the hips, the groin, the thighs release a little more with each exhale. Let's take one more inhale here together. And exhale, we bring the hands to the outsides of the thighs to help gently, safely guide our legs back up together. We're going to roll up to a seated position, taking a few spinal rolls if that is not something you're comfortable with, or if you have spinal injuries that you would rather just rise up, moving on to your side and coming to a seated position, that's great. Otherwise, together, we will bring the feet elevated, knees are bent. We kick the soles of the feet up towards the sky, engaging the abdomen, and rolling right up to a seated position. When you get there, sit up nice and tall. Stay for the inhale, exhale. We roll, kick, coming right back up. And let's go one more time. Exhale, we roll, kick, and rise. When we get there, let's come into a cross-legged position. I'll stay where I'm at. So cross-legged position, ankle cross to ankle. We sit up nice and tall. And on the exhale, we feel the sits bones rooted down into the ground. We move from bending at the hips, bringing the torso forward as we start to drop the hands onto the mat. If you need to stay here, that's great. Maybe you can bring elbows all the way down to the mat. Maybe you need to adjust for a second after what we did on our backs. Maybe you want to change it up a little bit and bring the opposite foot in front. Either way, we will crawl forward for our seated forward fold. Gaze comes down to the mat, or if you're really sore today, go ahead and let the head hang. Let the crown shine down to the earth. Paying attention to what our body's asking for. Hips stay nice and heavy, rooted down to the ground. If you find yourself kind of pulling up a little bit on the hips, bring a folded blanket or even a block underneath the hips just to give you more room. And notice how the body shifts with each exhale. Maybe you create more space where you can crawl a little more forward. We stay for the inhale. Exhale, we're taking the hands over to the right side of the mat. So we move the belly towards the right thigh. And again, release the forehead, crown, chest down to the earth. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we walk ourselves through center, taking it over to the other side. Notice the difference between each side of the body. Reestablishing that connection between mind and body. A connection that we lose in our busy Western lives. Exhale draws you back through center, and we gently walk ourselves back up to a seated position. In whichever way your feet are crossed, let's switch them and go one more time. So if the left foot was tucked under, let's bring the right in instead. We sit up nice and tall, rooted down to the earth through our sits bones. You need to move the fleshy part of the bum to the side to really feel those sits bones and the tail reaching down to the ground. That is totally okay. We sit up nice and tall. We bend from the hips, bringing the torso forward, starting to crawl our way down into our forward fold. Really feeling the expanse of the low back, the skin on the upper back widening with each inhale, and softening with the exhale. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we're going opposite. We walk the hands over to the left side of the mat first. Keeping the hips heavy. Exhale, we walk ourselves back through center, taking it over to the right. Exhale, we come back to center and gently walk ourselves, rolling the spine back up to a seated position. Take a moment for a breath cycle. Inhale. And exhale. We bring both legs out long. Coming into staff pose, Dandasana. We sit up nice and tall. So if you feel like you're rounding in the low back or rounding in the shoulders, come back to your elevation. Bring a folded blanket underneath the hips, maybe a block if you feel that that's necessary. And we stay rooted down into the earth through our sits bones. So when we are here and we're beginning to round, we bring an awareness to the torso. So we bring heart right over hips. We're active through the knees, tugging that femur bone back into the hip socket, allowing that forward movement. So let's inhale, both arms come up overhead. And exhale, we start to bend from the hips, folding down into our forward fold. You feel that your back is rounding or your hamstrings are really tight, you can always bend the knees, sending that belly right to the thighs and dropping the head that way. And just like we do when we do our sun salutation, so our forward folds and our halfway lifts, hands stay on the feet, on the calves, or on the earth. As we inhale to open the chest and look forward, tugging that femur back into the hip socket. We're firm down through the heels. Exhale, we fold. Again, we inhale, chest comes open, gazes forward, and fold. One more time, inhale. Exhale, we fold, stay for the inhale. And exhale, we start to roll ourselves back up to a seated position. Left foot comes into the midline, right leg stays out long. Hand comes either to the inside of the knee, the outside of the knee, or you can drop the forearm down to the mat. We inhale, left arm comes up overhead. If this is a good stretch for you and this feels right, stay here. Otherwise, we'll take the fingers over towards the right toes. Side body stretch. Feeling this big stretch, this long line from fingers all the way down to the hip. Chest is wide open, facing forward, coming out from the midline. Right knee is active. Hand is firmly connected with the earth. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, belly button pulls back to spine, abdomen engages as we rise. Let's take it to the other side. Right heel comes in, left leg comes out long. We're active in the toes, in both feet, protecting the knee and creating our foundation, our stability. Find your hand placement and we'll inhale, right arm comes up overhead. Stay here. or we take the right fingers over towards the left toes. Really feel that stretch in the side body, the intercostal muscles, all the way down to the low back. We feel the firmness of our left leg, our foundation. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, belly engages as we rise back up for the center. We're going to roll through onto all fours. You can also swing the legs off to the side to get there. And when you get there, as always, wrists are right underneath the shoulders, knees are right underneath the hips, belly button is pulled back to the spine to protect the low back. We're pressing into the fingertips, gaze is straight down, firm foundation in the feet, whether you have the feet against the earth or the toes curled. And we inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through, really pulling that spine up to the belly button, noticing the full body experience here. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, make your way to cat. Inhale, we come back to tabletop, toes curl, and on the exhale, we're going hips up high for downward facing dog. See if you can take it nice and slow. Feeling that connection from the fingertips all the way to the toes. If the low back is tight, the hamstrings are tight, bend the knees, bringing some integrity to the spine. Elbow creases are shining towards each other, towards the front of the mat, spreading the shoulder blades across the back. Stay for the inhale. And on the exhale, we step the right foot up in between the hands. We're going to drop the back foot. You can keep the toes curled or flip the foot down to the mat. And we settle into low lunge. So we're going to stay here for 3 breath cycles. Bringing awareness to the body. That connection. Start to notice how your thoughts about your body are different than when we started practice. After your 3 rounds, we stay for the inhale. Exhale, we power through that front foot, rising into a modified high lunge. Arms come up overhead. We inhale to grow tall in the spine. Exhale, left hand comes to the outside of the right knee, and we open the right arm towards the back edge of the mat, shining the chest towards the right side of our practice space. We're firm through both feet, engaging the inner thighs for stability. Inhale to drop that right hand and come back up into our high lunge. We're rotating the back foot over towards the right side of the mat, bringing the left leg parallel with the short edge of the mat, perpendicular to the long. So we're going to modify warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, back hand drops, front arm lifts. Modified peaceful warrior. Firm through our foundation, hips are in line with the pelvis. Exhale, we drop forearm to top of right thigh for our extended side angle, or you can bring that hand down to the earth. Stay for the inhale. Exhale draws us back into peaceful warrior. And exhale, we pivot back to the front side of the mat, rotating that foot back, squaring the hips off to the front of the mat. We're back in a low lunge. And we stay really sending the breath down into the hips, the hamstring, the groin. Maybe close your eyes, encouraging your vision to go inward, feeling our way through it instead of seeing our way. On the exhale, we'll drop our palms down to the earth. Easiest way to get out of this is to curl the back toes, lift the back leg, and we draw the right foot back to meet the left. We're in plank, top of a push-up for the inhale. Exhale, hips are going back up high to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, we step the left foot up. We drop the back knee as we come into low lunge on the other side. So knee stays right over ankle, so we're in correct alignment. But we really pull that femur back into the hip socket and allow that torso to come forward like we were doing in our seated forward fold. Shoulder blades are pinching together. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Stay for one more breath cycle. And on your next exhale, we power up to a modified high lunge. Arms come up and we settle. Inhale to grow tall in the spine. Maybe you look up. It's in your practice to bring a back bend here. You definitely can. But exhale, we'll drop right hand to the outside of the left knee, as we open left arm towards the back edge of the mat. Shoulders drop down away from the ears. You can look back at your fingers or keep your gaze forward. Inhale, left arm swings up as we come back into our high lunge modification. Exhale, we pivot on that back leg, bringing the shin, the foot, parallel to the short edge of the mat. We bring that pelvis right underneath the heart space. And we come into our modified warrior two. Exhale, back hand drops, front arm lifts, peaceful warrior. We're firm in our foundation, active in the hamstrings of the back leg and the glutes. Exhale, we find our extended side angle, whether that's forearm on the thigh or hand down by the left foot. Exhale, we come back to peaceful warrior. Exhale, we pivot back into our low lunge modification, keeping the toes curled or foot against the mat. And we stay here for 2 breath cycles, really settling into that activation, the stretch of the pelvis, the groin, front of the hips, low back. Toes of the back foot curl under as we plant the hands, drawing up that back leg and bringing the left to meet the right, making your transition back into downward facing dog. When we're here, let's pedal it out, bending one leg, straightening the other. Widening the shoulder blades across the back. Stay for the inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to tuck the tail and start to roll through the spine, bringing ourselves back into a plank position. Stay for the inhale, and on the exhale, we're slowly, gently lowering, elbows tight to the side body, all the way down to the mat. Toes curl, toes flip, so that the tops of the feet meet the mat. Hands are right next to the breastbone, right underneath the shoulders. Elbows are tight to the side body, feet are hip width apart. We engage the knees, pressing into the tops of the feet, pelvis tucks slightly towards the earth. Forehead connects with the mat. Inhale, and on your exhale, we press up, staying firm in our foundation, our legs, into either baby cobra or cobra. You come up into cobra, chest is wide open, we're firm in the legs, firm in the torso, or firm in the pelvis, connection with the earth. Exhale, we lower. Inhale. Exhale, rise, cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, lower, just the way you came. Head is the last thing to drop. Last one, inhale. Exhale, we rise, pushing into the fingertips of the hands. And exhale, we lower. Excellent. So let's come up onto our forearms. So elbows replace where the hands were. Left leg stays nice and long. As we start to bend the right leg, bringing it out to the side into a half frog. So knee is in line with the hip. Ankle is in line with the knee. We press into the earth from the inside of the foot, protecting that knee. We're still pressing down firmly through the top of the foot here. You can stay here, or maybe you crawl your way onto the belly, dropping the forehead. Stay for one more inhale. And on the exhale, we'll unravel, walking yourself back up onto the forearms. We draw the right leg back to meet the left and take it to the other side. So right leg is now our foundation. As we bend the left leg, drawing the knee in line with the hip, ankle in line with the knee. We press down firmly through the arch, the inside of the foot. So stay here. If you stay here, we press into the elbows, lifting out of that shoulder joint, chest is wide open. Or maybe we float down onto the belly, staying active in both legs. Stay for one more inhale. And exhale, we start to walk ourselves back up to an inverted position to safely draw our left foot back to meet the right. Let's place palm over palm and either drop the forehead or the side of the face onto the hands, taking a Shavasana on your belly today. Start to let the heaviness come into the ankles and low body. The shoulders start to sink down to the mat. Stay here for as long as you're able to today. And throughout the rest of your day, practice this action of being aware of the body, listening to what it needs and acting accordingly. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great weekend and I will see you on Monday.